Recently, me and my wife went to Korea, and like a lot of people, when we went to Korea, we went to a skincare clinic. So I particularly wanted to make this video as a 32-year-old Indian man because I was personally looking for advice and how this process would look like on my skin. I could not find a lot of examples, and the examples that I did find from women, I realized that a lot of them were slightly exaggerated because they had makeup on for the final look, and so here I am. All of those pictures and all the videos shared here are basically only with a very clear moisturizer and nothing else on the skin. So before we begin, I want to preface this by saying that I paid about $500 a person, so for me and for my wife, to get different treatments. Particularly in my case, when we went to the clinic, they did a full facial scan and then the doctor went over our results with us. For me particularly, they suggested that I get a laser toning, a cooling mask, as well as Rejuran. And so we opted for 4 milliliters of Rejuran instead of 2, which is the standard, and we also opted for the less painful, slightly more expensive procedure. So before we begin, I do want to go over what Rejuran actually is. Rejuran is a PDRN formula consisting of salmon DNA that is injected under your skin, which makes your skin repair itself. So as a part of the procedure, they numb my face for about 45 to 50 minutes before injecting my skin with the salmon DNA, and this was about a 2 out of 10 on the pain scale. So once the procedure was done, both me and my wife had like these bumps all over our face that made us look like Klingons, especially Worf from Star Trek. A couple hours later, the bumps had already started to go down, and as the day went by, the scarring from the injection sites also started disappearing. I would say the scarring went down faster for me than it did for my wife, who's Korean. The general recovery period that is said to be about 2 to 3 days to about like a week, and you start seeing real results in about 4 weeks in. This was me about 2 weeks in, and I think there was a pretty drastic difference. Then this was me about 3 weeks in, where I actually started to notice like a substantial difference. I personally think the treatment was really worth it, and I believe it primarily did 2 things for my skin. One was that the acne scarring went down significantly, and the second thing was I felt as if the hydration retention of my skin improved over time. So by the 4-week mark, I actually did not need to use as much moisturizer because my skin was staying a little more plump and a little more hydrated throughout the day. I really hope this video is helpful for people who are trying to get the similar procedure or have been on the fence about getting this. I really highly recommend getting the procedure if you're in Korea, and I hope this video gives you an idea about how this would look like with a skin similar to mine.